very, very important.
No,
It is
that's not
enough
it.
for
That's
you.
not what I want.
Bad basketball. The refs killed the game, and I will be the first
this is
to
awful
admit.
too.
Texans who will forever regret passing on Johnny
Is that serious
Manziel.
right now?
Oh, Golden Boy's coming
what?
back.
And he wants to come back.
Dancing with the
No.
Stars.
And
Dancing with the
he
Stars.
called
No.
out
No.
Conor McGregor.
Oh, shit.
No, that's
God,
true.
no.
Yes.
Hey,
It's a true
motherfucker.
story.
This I can get into.
And
welcome back.
Wait. I'm supposed to be starting now. What are you guys
Welcome
doing?
back to Scout Team.
Hey, this was my
He
turn.
just jumped it.
Dude, what
What is Anthony doing?
You know.
I mean,
took the
first
shot.
of all,
I took the shot.
should we have discussed this before we started the show?
Probably.
Fuck no.
We don't
We
even have
screwed this
show
up.
notes this time.
Man, sorry. Oh, really? You
Show
gonna
notes.
throw that on me?
I've never
You're
had
the one
show
that
notes.
just admitted it. Nobody would have known if you would have just kept your mouth shut. Nobody said Anthony didn't do show notes.
I mean, you had one job. One job.
I have more than one job.
I mean, on the show.
Yeah, I guess so. It happens. I'm sorry.
I mean, I guess you have more than one job. You sit there and look pretty
I do look pretty.
and do show notes. Those are your only jobs.
I'm a part-time
and then
hand model.
Bring the golden mic.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's a part of
Bring
me.
the velvety tones to the golden mic.
It's a part of me. It's just like embedded in me, the golden mic.
So who are we?
I really don't have a job. We are Scout Team Sports.
Scout Team Sports.
Where can they find us?
I think on the Twitter machine, at Scout Team Radio.
At
Where
Scout
else?
Team SPRTS.
At YouTube.
Facebook.
Oh yeah, we are on YouTube. We're
Scout
YouTube
Team
famous.
Radio YouTube channel.
Subscribe
Check it out.
and like this video.
Whoop, whoop.
It's just a video of us talking. Not really a video.
I mean, it's worth downloading.
I guess so. We should do live
Hey,
shows. We should do more live
He
shows.
downplayed it a little bit, but I just want everybody out there that's listening to know that we are awesome to listen to on YouTube. And if you don't want to listen and watch us on YouTube, you can go ahead and check us out on iTunes. We've got a great show. If you're listening now, you've already been sucked into our amazingness, and I appreciate that.
We're also on 12 Ounce Sports Radio on the 12 Ounce or on the TuneIn app or 12OunceRadio.com or ScoutTeamRadio.com. We're everywhere.
Just look us up. Google
We're like
us, baby.
we're like Pitbull, man. We're Mr. 305. We're
That's
the Little
right.
Wayne.
We're everywhere.
We're the Little Wayne of the podcast business. That's what
No,
people are saying.
I like
Because
Little
we're-
John better.
I don't
because-
like Lil Wayne.
Oh,
bec-
yeah.
No, because Little Wayne's in everything. Little Wayne's everywhere.
No,
Every time
that-
you turn on the radio,
that used to be.
Little Wayne is
Wait
there.
a second.
That used to be.
I
Not
think we
anymore.
are more like The Rock of
There you go.
podcasts.
There we go.
Because
That's
that
more
dude
like-
is
that dude
everywhere.
is in everything, yeah.
He is the Samuel L. Jackson of movies.
Mother.
And he's black like Aaron Judge.
He is black.
I thought he was Samoan.
Nah, he's black.
No, Aaron Judge is not Samoan.
No, Aaron Judge is tan guy.
He's not
Tan
big
white
enough to
guy.
be Samoan.
Who?
Which one?
Aaron
Aaron
Judge?
Judge,
Yeah,
yeah.
he is. He's big.
He's not that big.
He's like 6'7", like 300
I'll
pounds.
take him in a fight.
Okay.
Can we make that a bet?
Anytime, Aaron Judge, you want some? Come get some.
I think
baby.
what he meant to say was, I'll take him to a fight. Like him and will be buddy in Las Vegas.
They'll be
watching
holding
UFC.
hands, watching John Jones. Wait, no, he doesn't
I
fight
wouldn't
anymore.
hold
You
Aaron
for
Judge's
me,
hand.
No matter how.
Hey, pull out my pocket. He has to hold my pocket.
What?
This
just
just
got
got
weird.
You
Real
guys
weird.
never seen Prison Break when he got pulled out his pocket and said, "Hold my pocket"?
That's
He used to walk
one. That's
around
one
prison.
show I haven't seen yet.
No, I watched some of the new season. It's not that
The
great.
new- I never watched the new season. I'm talking about the old season.
I haven't watched it.
Nah, I didn't watch the old
Oh
one.
my
I heard it was good though.
God.
I'll take your word for it.
It was
though.
all right.
So, is there sports that we should be talking about?
Maybe
Eh.
Thanksgiving's here. That's
Oh,
exciting.
yeah.
Oh man, I love Thanksgiving.
Yeah, turkey
basketball,
and football.
Basketball season's kind of normalizing itself. Usually, you wait till Christmas to start worrying about things, but Thanksgiving is where things kind of get ironed out after weeks 1, 2, and 3. Which brings us to our Magic. It was a fun ride, guys. We were 1 in the East for about a week. It was good times. Now
It
we're
wasn't
8
even a week.
Now we're 8 and 9.
So
it was a solid 10 games.
We were 8-4, losing 5 games in a row, and guess what? I'm looking forward to getting a good draft pick next year, guys.
Yeah.
I'm
Already?
already like scouting out some of these
Scouting out some of these
college guys.
Maybe
yeah.
we
Watch
get
college.
maybe we get LiAngelo Ball.
Oh no, I don't want him.
Why not?
I don't.
Come
Would
on.
you rather be in a Chinese prison or play for the Magic?
That's wrong.
Yeah,
That's wrong. Come
that's
on.
rough.
He wasn't in a Chinese prison.
He was.
Yeah, he was.
He was in a
Chinese jail.
hotel.
No, they sent him to jail. Then he got bailed out, and
He
then
was
he
in a
sat in a
hotel.
hotel.
He was in a hotel.
Is that what we're calling it now? A hotel? That's what the Chinese
Hotel,
government
no-tel.
wants you to believe.
No, it was a hotel.
That's the way those communists work. He's in a hotel.
Oh, really?
I don't trust any of them.
Everything's fine.
It's all right. He got out there.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, good old Trump took care of him.
We'll talk about that later.
All right, let's talk about that later.
So yeah, Magic
yeah.
had a good time, and guess who else's ride is over?
Maybe the Clippers.
The Clippers.
They look
yeah.
bad.
Dude, they're like talking about dismantling him. Just
I heard
go
people
away.
are calling for the coach's head, Coach Doc.
Doc.
Yeah,
Doc Rivers.
I actually didn't think Doc was going to make it through this year just because you lose Chris Paul, who was the captain of that team, and the talent is just not as good. Blake Griffin's a good piece. DeAndre Jordan's a good piece, but they're really not that whole team like they were last year. So you were going to see a big drop off. Where I was surprised is they were winning at the beginning of the year, but they had that Orlando Magic like trickery going on where they were like making people think they were good, and then they came down to earth, and they're really just not that good of a team.
Griffin has never been a centerpiece. He's always been a decent player.
He's a compliment player.
He's like red under role player, and it's kind of sad because I always had high hopes for him, but he's just a face now. He's really not that good, and obviously he cannot lead a team.
So I would compare him a little bit to Carmelo Anthony, where he's got this big name. Everybody knows who he is.
Yep.
They think he's a superstar. But how many playoff games do you think he could win on his own as leading a team?
He's not making it to the playoffs.
Exactly. Carmelo, how many did he win in New York? Like maybe one, or they went to the playoffs, so like 2011.
that one
was
season
like,
where you
Yeah,
said that
they were good.
LeBron James had to go through him.
Yeah, that was their
Yeah.
1 year. And
That was
then
it.
in Denver, I think they made it to the first round a couple times and got knocked out. Like
When
Carmelo
he was
never could
younger.
do anything.
Yeah, when he was younger, he could ball, but
But Blake Griffin's the same way. He's not good enough to take a team, but he's good enough to be a superstar as far as namesake goes.
Yeah.
He'll be an all-star every year. He'll be somebody that's in that conversation. But if you were building a team today,
You wouldn't
I would
put Blake
name
Griffin.
10 to maybe even 20 guys ahead of Blake Griffin.
Absolutely.
And that's no doubt. I mean,
Yeah.
definitely top 10. Kyrie Irving probably would be one of them because the guy can win 16 games in a row with no other major superstars on his team. That's how it's done right there, gentlemen. That's how you do it if you're a superstar.
I have to shut up and say, I'm sorry. I didn't think he could do it, and he's proven everybody wrong. 16 in a row he's amazing. Shit.
He is. I mean, I have to kind of bow to his efforts. I didn't think it would be this good,
He doesn't-
especially after
he-
Gordon Hayward went down. I was
Exactly.
like, this team doesn't have the talent, but their young talent is actually outstanding, and then he's the one guy that can carry that team. So good stuff over there in Boston.
He still doesn't look good in a green jersey. I don't care what anybody says.
So just watch them when they're wearing white.
Yeah, good point.
I guess.
And I mean, they're better than the Golden State Warriors, right? Because I haven't heard any excitement about Golden State going on.
Well, this is the weird thing I was talking to you guys about. 2 years ago, that was the conversation. It was almost like there were no other teams in the NBA because you're talking about Golden State and their record and are they better than the Bulls of 96, 97? Will they break the record? And it's like nobody else existed. And then last year there was still a lot of talk about Kevin Durant and how good is this Golden State team and yada yada yada. This year it's kind of ghost. It's all basically Celtics talk and Cleveland Cavaliers struggling talk. And
But do you think
I know there's some people. Obviously, if you really pay attention to NBA stuff, people are talking about the Golden State Warriors and their record. But I don't think the casual fan is hearing anything like they were the last 2 seasons, and they're 13-4.
For one, there's no Golden State and Oregon Duck fans in Florida. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from.
That's not true. My
It's not
nephew's
true.
a Golden State
It's not
fan.
true. No.
He has
What
the
is he,
Curry
like 5?
jersey.
He's
No,
like-
I mean he's 13. He's got his Curry jersey.
Yeah, but
Whatever.
everybody loves Steph Curry. Like, he's that really likable guy. So these impressionable young teens, they latch on to that like big popular player, and that's why he's probably a fan. He's a likable
it's a
guy.
little bit of that,
He's
and
a fan
it's-
because it's happening now.
No,
That's all.
there's a little bit of that, and it's also because his dad is, I don't know, is supposedly from Oakland or something. And so he likes the Raiders too. It's weird.
That sounds like something we might need to get the
Yeah.
Scout Team Bureau of Investigation to look at,
Yeah,
because
well-
he's supposedly from Oakland, but we don't know.
He's
if
also a volunteer fan, and I don't know how I feel. Like,
Well, yeah, we know
He's
how
all
you
over the
feel
place.
about that.
Yeah.
Like, that can't be a good feeling.
I hear
That's
you.
like, I love Michael Jordan. I was a Bulls fan during
Yeah.
their run because it was fun to watch. Like, when you see something that's that like superstardom, fantastic, something that you will
get
never
behind
see
it.
again in your lifetime, you get behind it. You have
Absolutely.
to. And I think that's the problem is Golden State, we've seen this video over and over again. They're good. We know it. We know that they win championships. I think it's good for the storyline to be about other people instead of just hearing over and over again.
It's marketing. It's absolute marketing. It's like, hey, look, we know Golden State has a 98% chance of winning the finals. Let's go ahead and talk about other teams while we can and blow up the season.
98% is a little high, though.
I listen to a lot of
98%
sports.
a little
I
high?
listen to a lot of
90, what is 99?
No, 98% is high.
You don't think it's 98%?
No, I think it's like 82%.
That's still high.
That's high, but 98%
98.
is like
I'm gonna say 98.
there's only a 2% chance that one of the 30 other teams in the NBA will win.
There's only like 1.5 teams that could beat them. I don't think Boston. Boston can't beat
the
them.
Orlando Magic, the first 6 games of the
first
season
6
could have.
games could, yeah. Nah, look, nothing has changed. Golden State's still the tops, but
No, I'm saying that.
but-
It's still a high percentage.
But it's marketing on. It's good marketing on the NFL. I mean, the NBA's and the commissioner's part to say, hey, look, let's talk about Boston. Let's talk about Houston. Let's talk about OKC. Let's talk about everybody except the guys that we think is going to make the run.
Well, I don't,
Houston looks
Houston's
good.
13-4 too.
Dude,
They're
they look
tied
really good.
and
There you go.
you don't really hear much about them either.
That's true. They've been under the radar.
It's not just that, we live in Orlando, there's no fans here. I listen to Rich Eisen, I listen to Colin Cowherd sometimes, I listen to the national guys, and they don't even really bring it up. Like, they want to talk about, and obviously for good reason, they want to talk about Kyrie's 16-game winning streak and Cleveland's struggles. But, hey, Cleveland's turned it around.
They have. They've looked good the last few games. I think they're in a 4 or 5 game winning streak.
Did anybody
They're pulling it
doubt it?
together.
No, I don't think anybody
No,
doubted it. It
we
was
didn't.
kind of
Nobody
like, when
doubted
is it going to
Yeah,
happen?
that is. Thank you, Captain Obvious. That the Cavaliers guy. I get it. I'll take that. I understand where you're coming
Everybody's
from
like,
with that.
ooh, Cleveland's down. And I'm like,
Yeah.
they got plenty of time. They'll be fine. If they lose, if they go through another 10-game losing streak, then I might be worried. But besides that, they're Cleveland Cavaliers. They got arguably the best player in the NBA. They'll be fine. They'll make it.
They will. I agree. But Rockets, that adds a little bit of intrigue, and it's surprising that they aren't getting more pub than they're getting because they have a really, really good team, and the addition of Chris Paul to a team that was already formidable makes something kind of interesting going on in the West, and they could be the ones that challenge Golden State. They might be more of a challenge than anybody in the East.
They're that 18% that you were talking about.
Yeah, something like that.
Gotcha.
I mean, not the 2% that you were talking about.
Whatever.
I mean, that's like the percentage chance that the Florida State Seminoles can beat the Gators. 2%.
Oh,
wait,
talking
no.
about in basketball or football?
Football.
No,
I'm
dude.
switching sports.
Yeah, we'll get down to that.
All right, never mind.
We'll get down to the trash.
I jumped off
talking
the
later.
rails.
Another topic that's been talked about more than Golden State is obviously Lonzo Ball and the Los Angeles Lakers.
It has been, man. This guy.
LeVar's
And
going
he's not
off.
that good.
He's
I mean,
not that
he's just
good.
not that good.
No, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to be.
He's had 2 triple-doubles.
He has had the 2 triple-doubles. And the most recent triple-double, he looked really good. He looks like he's going to be one of those guys that can kind of take the ball and help like distribute to his team and make them better. So I don't think he's going to be one of those guys that goes out there and just lights the world on fire and gets 30 points a game.
I'm about to say, wasn't it like 10 points or something?
Right, it was. It was 11 points, 16 rebounds, and 11 assists. So he's not going to score tons. But I think his assists and how he helps distribute the ball is what's going to make him a great player. Kind of Magic Johnson-esque in a very, very small.
Magic put up points, man.
Here, well, I agree, but Magic could move the ball better than I've ever seen somebody move the ball. Magic was one of those guys that was just he owned the floor when he had the ball, and when Lonzo has the ball, he's looking to get his other teammates involved, and that's a good it's a good thing to have as a player because you want your other teammates to be better. When you look at guys like I was talking about Carmelo earlier, that guy, when he gets the ball, he wants to score.
Oh, he's going to shoot.
He's going to shoot, and he's
Yeah.
going to shoot, and he's going to shoot. And when you look at it, you want a guy that's going to make your team better, not be iso ball. that iso ball stuff, man, that gets old.
So he's Steve Nash. He's like a downgrade of Steve Nash.
Yeah,
Because Steve Nash could score too. I don't. Hey, look, you got to get players involved, but to be a leader, you got to put points on
hey,
the board.
it's only
too.
his first few weeks, and I don't like the guy just because of his dad. I mean, he's probably not a bad dude, but because his dad's such an a-hole, like I don't want to be his fan. But I'm starting to kind of get a little bit more into this. And the only other Lakers player ever to have 2 triple doubles in their first 20 games of the season of their career, Magic Johnson. Just throwing that out there.
Sympathy
All right.
for the devil.
Hey, and if the playoffs started right now, Lakers would be a playoff team. They're 8th seed.
Oh, yeah, I'm telling you, he's helping them be better. And it may not be as flashy as some of these other guys, but he is. He's being a good piece to that team, and that good for him.
So the troubles in the locker room, the rumors, they're not true.
I mean, you tell me. You go ahead, explain yourself.
I'm just saying that they're
Maybe
saying
we need to get STBI on these rumors.
I mean, they're saying that he's trash in the locker room. His own teammates.
Well,
Yeah.
he has been raised on that philosophy of being a big asshole is okay in life, because his father figure basically thinks that going through life as an asshole is how you succeed. So I could see where he'd be a bad locker room guy. I'm just looking at on the floor stuff.
I hear you.
So the locker room stuff, now that's a problem.
the locker room counts.
It counts. It counts
Absolutely.
for
Nobody's
a lot.
going to follow you if you go out there and score 11 points and get a triple double, but yet you're an asshole in the locker room. Nobody's going to follow you. You're not like Jordan that can score 50 at will and go in and slap Scottie Pippen and say, "Man, step up your game." You know what I'm saying? That can't. I mean, me being an athlete, me being a coach and athlete, that's the only thing I'm saying. He can be an asshole, but he has to put it on the floor too.
Are you a professional table tennis player?
Like Forrest Gump, yeah.
All right, I like to hear that.
All right, so we're talking about rumors. We're talking about LA. Let's stick to those 2 topics and switch gears a little bit to the biggest topic on my mind is Chip Kelly.
The soon-to-be coach of the UCLA Bruins, right?
Maybe.
He's dissing you on Florida, by the way, but yet he's dissing me on Florida State. It's because
Hey, man, I just like to stir
has
the shit,
this
man.
he
is
has
what
a
happens.
big game coming up too. But we'll get to
this
that.
is what happens when you're undefeated and you're
just
the big man in the room.
He's the asshole.
you kinda
He's the
just-
He's the asshole in the locker room.
He's the quiet asshole.
He's the ass. No, he's not quiet. He's out
No.
there.
He likes to like drop in bombs and then watch you and me fight. That's what he likes to do. He's the instigating asshole.
So Chip Kelly,
I can't
UCLA or
argue.
bust.
Huh?
Huh?
UCLA or bust. Chip
Florida or bust?
Hey, dude, it
At
doesn't
this
matter
point,
to me.
At this point, I think he needs to do a hat ceremony. You know how like college kids or the high school kids, when they announce who they're going to play for, they put the hats on the table. At this point,
or maybe he can do the decision like LeBron.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't watch the decision?
No, I did. I was up
All
at
right,
the
then.
bar
You
with
watched
some
the decision?
friends.
no, I didn't watch that garbage. I'm
You
not
a liar.
spinning- No, why would I want to watch that?
Come on. Everybody watched
Hey,
this.
I don't watch non-sporting events.
He was at
sporting
the
events.
Boys and Girls Club.
The
We're
only
at the
non-
bar right now, and they're replaying Florida State versus Delaware State. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And we're willing to
Oh,
watch
this-
that garbage.
Yeah, this quiet. He is a quiet ass.
Yeah. Back
Hey,
to,
as long as you know I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
back to Chip Kelly. So now the latest rumors is that it's between UCLA, Florida, and now there's this mysterious school that's contacted him.
Delaware
Tennessee.
State.
No, it's Tennessee. Delaware State doesn't have a chance. They probably have contacted him though. But Tennessee, I think, is that
think
mysterious.
Tennessee?
Yeah,
I was thinking Texas A&M.
yeah, because they're trying to put all their eggs in that Jimbo Fisher basket. That's not going to work out. I don't think that's even in the cards. So I'm with you.
It could. I mean, no one's above the fray. I mean, money talks, bullshit walks, right?
Yeah, but what's the buyout on that? Isn't it like $40 million or something?
It's up there.
Like seriously,
God,
there
it's
comes
up
to a
there.
certain point where you got to say,
Eh,
"There's
it
another
ain't
dude
worth
out
it.
here
There's
that can
another
leave."
dude out
Yeah,
It's not
40
worth it.
million. Like
It's
if-
going to take him like 20 years just to get that money back.
right.
So
Nah.
Scott Frost is off the list.
For Florida?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Right now, it's okay.
Oh yeah,
so
I'm an asshole too.
one of the other rumors is Florida has widened their search because they're tired of waiting on Chip Kelly.
Which
We'll
they should.
see.
Everybody,
yeah.
everybody should have a.
You gotta
wide
have
search.
a plan B, C,
You
D,
gotta,
and E.
yeah, you gotta have a wide net, man. Look, if I don't know what's the best school for him. Obviously, he's weighing out his decisions. But I told you, and we argue a lot on Twitter. But I told you, when you fire coaches 3, 2.5 years in, it looks bad.
No,
and
it
other
does.
coaches are going to be like, I need 5. But yet, you fired this guy at 3, you fired this guy at 4, you fired this guy at 3. I might have to weigh my other decisions because I don't want to get fired after 3
I mean,
years.
I can see that, but at the same time, I think coaches know that that's just the way it is in the world. Like
That's the way it is now. It wasn't this way 10 years
Vance
ago.
Joseph at Denver is rumored to be getting fired. He's only been there for what, a season? Chip Kelly at San
Denver
Francisco
sucks.
only got 1 year, and he was
He did.
fired.
God.
Yeah, but the teams that don't do that seem like they're more successful. Look at the Steelers. The Steelers have had like 4 coaches in the last 40 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And if, let's say, Mike Tomlin decided to step down or retire, if somebody's interviewing for that job, you know you're going to get the highest quality of candidates because they know that the Steelers will
you're gonna
give
faithful.
you a chance.
Yeah.
And unless you're bad for like losing records 5 years in a row, you basically are going to be given free range to do whatever you want to make that team win for a long
Right.
period of time.
But the Steelers now are the exception to the rule. They're not the rule.
Agreed. No, I agree with that, but that's what...
But what he's saying is that makes it harder to find a coach.
And the NFL is a lot different than college as well. Like you see guys like Jeff Fisher hangs around a really long time.
But I think Jeff Fisher's the exception.
John
to the rule.
Fox. No, you got John Fox, who's kind of been given chance after chance after chance. How long?
John Fox
How long
has
did
been
John
given
Gruden
chance.
get to run Tampa into the ground? How long
Yeah.
did
John
Rex
Gruden won a
Grossman,
Super
not Rex
Bowl, though.
Grossman, but Rex Ryan get? At the Jets.
Rex,
and then,
But Rex Ryan
took
went
them
to two AFC
yeah.
championship games, and then he pretty much jumped off a cliff, and then they were bad 3 years in a row, and then they cut him.
Exactly.
So the 2 AFC championship games almost
That gave
let
him
his
some
leash
time.
get a little bit longer.
But in-
you got to win at least a
Yeah.
little bit, whereas Jeff Fisher 12 years ago went to like a Super Bowl and then had like non-playoff teams for 12 straight years and
Yeah,
still
he
was
did.
given extra opportunities.
But
His example is just, I don't even know how that happened.
But in college football, that's just the way it is. When you start losing 2 seasons, 3 seasons in a row, and you're not meeting expectations, you're gone. Look at UCLA's the same way. Yes, was Jim Moore there for 3 years? Of course he was, or 6 years, sorry. But he had 3 very successful seasons, then followed up with 4 bad ones, and they kicked him out.
I think in college, though, there's an abundance of young coaches, too. Coaches that ADs are willing to take the chance on.
Well, I mean, the other thing too is NFL doesn't have like a subdivision to kind of choose from. You either pick coaches who already are on a team, which no coach really leaves a team. Like you don't see, hey, the Detroit Lions coach just left to take on the Dallas Cowboys job. That doesn't happen often.
Very rare. Very
So
rare.
you're either stuck to either picking an offensive or defensive coordinator or going to college, and those are all like a roll of the dice. Or you take a John Fox or a Rex Ryan who's failed elsewhere, and you're like, well, maybe
Maybe
it's just
he
a
can
bad
work.
situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of the retread thing.
Where-
the NBA does that a lot too, where you get a lot of
in
retreads.
college,
Yeah.
in college you have 130 teams, which means you have 130 head coaches, people with head coaching experience, for you to go around and say, hey, UCF's got a really good coach right now.
Well,
Hey,
somebody-
Boise State's got a really good coach right
yeah,
now.
somebody a while back took a chance on a young Bowling Green coach.
Exactly.
That worked
Utah
out.
did.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Florida
Florida
took
did. Yeah, it was almost like walking up the ladder. You know,
And
you're
that's-
you're working your way
There's
up.
a
That's what they
natural
do.
progression
I mean,
in college, but you don't have that in the NFL.
No,
there is
you don't.
no.
Yeah.
There are no bottom dwellers. I mean, there's the Cleveland Browns, but people say that all
bad.
32 NFL jobs are a good job to have.
Yeah,
like they're
absolutely.
equal in
Yeah,
a
I agree.
sense.
I agree with that. But we're back on Chip Kelly. Where's he going?
Yeah.
All right, so you guys tell me. Obviously, I'm a biased Gator fan. I think he should and will go to Florida, but I'm a biased Gator fan. So
I got to jump on the ship that I just don't see him at Florida. I mean, and I know you're going to say, oh, you think the ride is over, whatever, but he's just not a Florida coach to me. He doesn't have that. He's just missing something. I don't know what it is, but it's just missing something. I'm sorry.
See, I disagree. I think he would be the perfect coach at Florida because you have a team with a good defense that needs somebody to ignite the offense. That dude could go in there and make waves absolutely immediately with the talent that they have because it would be a complete change of mindset. He knows how to get the best out of those players. He knows how to scheme to work at the ability of the players that he has. And I think within 2 or 3 years, Florida's back into that national championship conversation
He's
like they
seen-
should be because they're the type of program that has always been prominent up in that spotlight, and they just have kind of lost that the last few years because of honestly poor coaching.
To me, he seems like a watered down Urban Meyer.
I'll take that.
I mean, that's
I know
not a
you
bad
would,
thing, though.
But it just seems like he's
You can't just replicate Urban Meyer, though.
get
There's
that.
not so many of those guys. I mean, I'd love to have Nick Saban on UCF. I'd love to have Urban Meyer. I'd love to have these guys, but there's only 2 or 3 of those like elite coaches, and then everybody else is you got to find that guy that works for your system and can produce results. And you got to take a chance on a guy like Chip Kelly. You're taking a chance if you're the Florida Gators getting him, but at the same time, it's a calculated chance. It's a calculated risk to be able to improve that team in a way that it needs to be improved. I think the Florida Gator fit would be the best. I think UCLA would be a terrible team for Chip to go to. Now, if he did go there, I get that would be like, hey, I want to show that I can take this subpar, not high caliber college program and make it into it, kind of like he did at Oregon. He would be kind of replicating his efforts like he did at Oregon. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think the best plug-and-play option for him, the best for his career, the best for the team, would be going to the Florida Gators.
We'll see.
I honestly completely agree. And for obvious reasons, I'm biased. Number 2, everybody. So there's this thing that I've seen on Twitter, and it annoys the hell out of me. There's this myth that everybody's saying it's easier to win a national title in the Pac-12. It's easier to win out at UCLA.
Since when?
That's what they've said.
How many
That-
national
that
titles
shit.
are they winning out there?
So that is what I'm just saying. Like when you look at Twitter, they're like, "Oh, can you imagine Chip Kelly with California recruits, and that Chip Kelly knows the recruiting angle, and that it's easier to win a national title at
Who
UCLA?"
told you this garbage?
I didn't. Nobody told me this. This is you just go through Twitter and you
Holy
look at
shit.
UCLA guys. You look at media guys. Everybody has this thought in their head that, oh, the Pac-12 is easy, therefore you can go undefeated and go win a national title.
What?
I'm just telling you, this is what the myth is, and it's not just with UCLA. It's any school outside of the Southeastern Conference. It's easier to win at Ohio State. It's easier to win at Texas. It's easier to win a national title at things. And I'm glad you guys are looking at me like, where the hell is this coming from? Because there is absolutely no validity to this at all. It's like
No.
one of those things that people say because it's just something to say.
I mean, I'll give you one thing. It's easier to win at those schools, but to win a championship, you got to come from the South, baby. I mean, period.
All right, so then we're on the same page
The best
here.
players come from the South, and me coaching football, I even know that. Nobody goes to California to recruit. I don't care what anybody says.
There's some talent in California.
There's
Let's
some,
just
but you
not
go to the
totally
South to get the
defunk
best.
them. I mean, USC pulls a lot of talent. I mean, they're kind of the number one. And when Oregon was top notch, Chip Kelly wasn't coming to Florida and getting a lot of those recruits. He was getting a lot of
couldn't
local
recruit in
guys.
Florida.
He couldn't. You're right, but his teams were still unbelievable.
But I think that has more to say about him as a coaching developer, like a player development, than it does about recruiting.
I'll even give you that. But, I mean, the best athletes, bar none, come from Florida, Texas, Louisiana.
No. Here's the thing.
Period.
It's not even Texas. You can take Texas out of that. The best recruits come from the Southeast region. They come from the Carolinas, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Louisiana,
I'll give you
and
that.
Mississippi.
I'll give you that all day. Absolutely.
That is the richest way, and if you want to have a chance at winning a national title, if we're talking about what schools give you the best chance to win a national title, it is no other region than a school in the Southeast.
I'll even go a step further and go back down to kids ball, Pop Warner football. The last 5 national championships through every division have been from Florida and Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Those kids are going to high school and then they're going to college. Everybody recruits out of that.
Well,
Period.
if you're still sitting there thinking we're just a bunch of biased people from the state of Florida,
Google that shit.
I got numbers to prove my point.
Oh, you already Googled it.
Oh, I've already done the research. I told you
Nice.
I'm going to bust the myth right now.
I see where he's going with this.
Do it.
Is 40 years a really good sample size?
That's
It's
too
a
big
little
of a
short.
sample
It's a little
size.
short, but we'll go
It's
with
a little
it.
short.
Yeah.
So, since 1977, 26 national titles have been won from a school in the Southeast. Not the Southeastern Conference, but from a school in the Southeast. I'm talking Clemson, Florida State, Miami, Georgia Tech, Louisiana, Tennessee, like in
Okay.
those states that I just mentioned.
Gotcha.
26. That's insane.
That's
That is
That's
a
the truth.
crazy number.
the truth.
Now, if you want to break it down even further, 10 different schools in the Southeast have won a national title since 1977. I looked at the entire United States, not California, not Texas, not Ohio, not different regions, just the entire other 48 or whatever, not the other states outside of the states we mentioned. 11 different schools have won elsewhere. So what is that, like 45, 44 different states have won 11, where in the states that I mentioned, there's 10
Yeah.
within that 40-year difference.
It's impressive.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, out of the Southeast, Florida and Alabama are the best. Florida has 11 national titles since 1977. Alabama has 8. So let's lower this
Facts.
down even more for Chip Kelly. Where does Chip Kelly want to go? He wants to go to Florida because we're talking about what are your chances of doing it. 7 different coaches have coached in the state of Florida and won a national title. 7 different coaches between Miami, Florida State, and Florida. And
hear
then
you.
if you want to talk about Pac-12, SEC, Pac-12, the Southeast, whatever, Dennis Erickson is a great coach to look at this. Dennis Erickson spent 11 years in the Pac-12 with 3 different schools. His record there wasn't bad. It was 74-58 in that 11 years. He spent 6 years at Miami. His record was 63-9.
Better talent.
In 6 years, he almost won as many games as he did in 11. While he was at Miami with Southeast recruits, he had 5 10-win seasons out of his 6.
Can't argue with that, man.
Out of his 11 seasons in the Pac-12, he had 2.
Can't argue with that one at all. I knew
had-
I knew where you were going when you said Denny Harrison.
He
I knew
had
it.
6 losing seasons while he was in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
He had 2 national titles while he was coaching in the Southeast. Big old goose egg while he was coaching in the Pac-12. So if that doesn't tell you what's most likely or gives you the best chance to win a national title, hey, you can go to the Pac-12 all you want and beat up on all these small teams, but when you go to the playoffs, the boys from the Southeast are going to kick your ass 9 out of 10 times.
Absolutely.
And the numbers show it.
I can't argue with that.
I can't argue with that either. That
That's
was a
facts.
pretty good analysis there.
Yeah,
That was the
absolutely.
Scout Team 15 for 15 special.
Yeah. and out of the city of LA, only 1 national title and 1 AP title
And that
in
was
that 40 years.
And that,
was
has an asterisk, right?
No. Neither of them had asterisks. The asterisk year was 2005 where they lost to Texas.
There you go.
If they
All right.
would have won that, that would have had the asterisk next to
Gotcha.
it.
That still has an asterisk next to it.
So Chip Kelly, I know you're listening. I don't hope you're listening. We know you're listening. Make the right choice. Be the 8th different coach to win a national title in the state of Florida.
He made a convincing argument.
He did make
I
a
can't
convincing
mess with
argument.
him on that one.
It makes me really want to just talk more about college football. Let's get into some rivalry week because we've got a ton of good games coming up. And you just talked about all these Southeast teams. Let's talk about what they're doing. So let's start us off with the biggest rivalry that I've ever known in my life. UCF versus USF.
Yes.
You thought I was going Florida State, Florida, didn't you? So
I didn't know which way you were going
UCF versus USF. So Friday, 3:30 game. You got the war on I-4.
What's the record?
My UCF
USF
Knights
owns it big time.
are undefeated, and they're going up against a one-loss USF team. Should be a great battle. UCF, I say they get out of this thing. I'm going to go 44-38.
Wow, it's a
Track
close
race.
game. Nice.
It's going to be a close game. Rival games
Yeah.
are always close, but I think UCF, we have the high-powered offense. I think our defense has struggled a little bit holding opponents down. So, yeah, 44-38 is what I'm going for in this game. Big rivalry game. You guys got any commentary on that?
I think UCF routes them.
You think so?
Yeah, I think
Wow.
it's like more like 45-24.
Okay. I
I've
can live with
the
that.
couple of times that I've watched USF, they're very inconsistent on offense. And if they come out inconsistent against UCF's defense, which is highly underrated compared to their offense because everybody wants to talk about their offense, but their defense is really good. They have really good corners and obviously a really good linebacker, Shaquem Griffin.
Charlie Strong. You should go get him, by the way.
No, I'm good.
Florida alumni. I think UCF has to win this. They have to win it. I mean, like you say in the record, they own you. So I mean, this if you're gonna beat them, this your season to beat them. Got that good new coach, Scott Frost, and I'm gonna be honest with you. If he wins this, the offers are gonna start pouring in even more.
Well, the rumors are that Nebraska's already got a 7-year, $35 million deal on the table for him. That's what
Yeah.
the rumors
And
are.
they still haven't even fired their coach.
And they still haven't fired their coach.
That's bad.
And he has come out and said that the rumors are not true, but as coach speak goes, you can't trust
Yeah,
any of
you
that
can't
jazz.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine being Mike Riley though? It's almost like you're still married to somebody, and they're like, "We're kind of still together, but really, I want this other chick,
You see pictures on Instagram,
or I
of them
want this
together.
other dude."
You see pictures of
You
them
do
on
want that
Instagram
other dude?
together? Yeah, he does.
No, I'm saying if it's your
Oh,
wife.
no. You
saying
just said you want that
fine.
other dude. All right.
If it's Ryan Reynolds, I'm good.
Wow, Scott Frost. I mean, if he wins this, yeah, the offers are going to start getting even more intense.
Now, UCF's got 3 tough games ahead of them because theoretically, if they win this, USF's a tough game.
Yep.
They're one-loss team. They're right outside the rankings. And then you go into the AAC championship game where theoretically you play Memphis. Memphis is a ranked team. Again, 1 loss to UCF. That's their only loss they've had all year.
You beat him bad though, didn't you?
We beat them pretty good, but beating
tough
a
to beat a
team
team
twice.
twice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you go into a bowl game. So you've got 3 tough games. If you finish the year undefeated, that's a huge feather in Scott Frost's cap and in UCF's cap. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope it happens. I don't want to jinx anything. I'm knocking on wood over here. Let's hope UCF finishes strong, but I got them beating USF.
I'll go with that.
All right. Now, let's move it over to you guys because there is a big rivalry going on. I know it's a little bit of a letdown as the season has progressed, but this is the game we talked about at the very beginning of our show as being the big game we were looking forward to this year. Florida versus Florida State. Go.
It's gonna suck.
Yeah.
I mean, there's gonna be a winner, there's gonna be a loser, but at the end of the day,
We're both losers.
it is gonna be a sloppy ass game, man.
So, in a way, Florida is kind of playing with nothing to lose, where Florida State is hoping to get a bowl game, and Jimbo has to win this game.
You guys are done.
No, we're out because we didn't reschedule our game. I mean, I think we can file some sort of hardship to say, hey, we had hurricanes, and obviously
Yeah.
a small tier bowl would rather have Florida than like Southeast Louisiana or
Eastern
whatever.
Michigan.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that possibility, but I don't think
You don't wanna go to a bowl game?
I don't think Florida wants to go to a bowl game. I think they want to just get rid of the staff they have now and bring in the new staff and just focus on recruiting.
I
agree with you.
I think they're taking the season intentionally, to be honest with you. I mean, Randy Shannon, I like Shannon.
I don't know that the players are on board for that.
I don't know.
Well, I think
We'll see how hard they play today.
Hey,
this week.
once the ship starts sinking and all the water's there, it's hard to bail out, man.
Yeah.
You're done. You're it's too much for you. So I think it just got overwhelming. All the losing and then how bad the offense is played. They were fighting in a few of those early games. That Tennessee game, like when you look back, they were scratching their way back into
got
that game.
lucky.
They did. There was luck involved.
Yeah, it was luck.
But that takes a toll over
Kentucky-
time. And
Kentucky, they got
finally
lucky.
got wore out.
Kentucky, they got lucky with the horrible defensive coordinator that couldn't cover a wide receiver.
Yeah, but
I mean,
wins are wins.
wins are wins. They
And
won.
it's just
Yeah.
been a rough year for Florida, so I think they're already mentally thinking, okay, this year's a bust. Let's go ahead and move forward mentally with next year.
But what you said, it's rivalry week. Everybody shows up on this week.
That's true.
So even though it's going to be it's going to be a god awful game. I mean, I want anybody to take anything away from it. It's going to be a win or a loss, but no one's looking forward to it. Are you looking forward to it?
Not really. I'm looking more forward to Chip Kelly making an announcement than I am to this game, to be honest with you.
He was just looking at his phone. I think he was looking at Twitter for updates to see
Yeah.
where Chip Kelly's going.
I'm more interested in Auburn, Alabama.
So Auburn, Alabama, Iron Bowl. We all know that this is every year just an exciting game. Even if one of the teams is having a down year, they both show up. And I still, years ago when that field goal was returned for the touchdown, that is one of the most legendary plays in my mind in college football history. That was just so exciting. And the Iron Bowl to me represents that. Like anything can and will happen. So
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is going to be the game of the week, and Alabama is Alabama, and Auburn. They don't look like the Auburn of old, but once again, they got some shifty they got some shifty speed on that team that can change the tide of the game at any time. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch.
I'm going to pick Auburn to win this game, to be honest with you.
Really? You just want to see an upset.
I mean, I do, but the way that Auburn beat Georgia and the way that kind of Alabama's limping into this game, they have a lot of injuries. They had to go down to the wire and needed a little extra help from the referees to beat Mississippi State.
And
Auburn's
it was
a
a really
better
close
team.
game against Mercer, too.
Yeah, not really, but they struggled for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
If Auburn wins this, they jump ahead of Alabama in the conference standings, right?
Oh, if Auburn wins, whoever wins this game goes to Atlanta.
Ooh,
Auburn's
it.
got 2
So Auburn,
losses,
Georgia
and Alabama
It
doesn't
would be
have
Auburn
any.
and Georgia again, yeah.
but so they have 2 losses. Auburn.
No, Auburn has 2 losses. One's to Clemson and one's to LSU, I think.
Yeah. And Alabama's undefeated.
So Alabama will still go.
No.
No,
They would
because
have
the
same-
conference.
They would be 7-1 to
and
8-1.
then the head-to-head would be.
Or they'd both be 7-1, and then the tiebreak would be the head-to-head.
Yep.
This has a lot of implications.
It does. It's a big game.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are saying, and I agree with it, if certain things mix out in the top 4 and Auburn wins against Alabama and then beats Georgia, they might be that 2-loss team that gets into the playoff.
Wow. Alabama don't make it?
They can
That's what I'm
still
saying.
make
They
it.
can
It
maybe
depends
still
how it all
make
shakes out.
But I
Ooh.
think if the committee is saying we only want one team from the SEC and Auburn beat Alabama, you take Auburn.
You got to take them. You got to take them.
That's it. Because
Interesting.
Auburn's only other loss, really, as far as their difference in between record, is that Alabama played a bottom dweller in the ACC, where Auburn played a top tier team in Clemson in the ACC.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
So
We'll see how it shakes out. It's exciting to see how the playoff picture's coming together. And this week is going to be a huge determining factor of where a lot of these teams fall. So Clemson, as the number 2 team, they could have a little bit of a challenge. They're going up against South Carolina, who's not a great team. I'm going to give you that. I'm not going to say that they're an amazing team. But rivalry week, any team can show up.
yeah, good question. For
Yes,
you,
go
sir.
ahead.
Is,
Go ahead.
is Will Muschamp still the head coach at South Carolina?
Will Muschamp is still the head coach at South Carolina.
Okay, then I'm going to take South Carolina to lose this game.
All
It's
right.
going to be in Will Muschamp fashion. It'll be like
Gator.
24-14.
Hating
It's
on
not.
us Gators,
So
man.
Clemson's favored by 14 points.
Yeah, Clemson's
Again,
on
they're a
badass.
better team.
I will
But this is one
pick
of
South
those-
Carolina to cover.
I feel like this is a trap game, though, for Clemson. 'cause
Absolutely.
They're going into it. South Carolina and Clemson have had a huge rivalry for a lot of years. They hate each other. They're both in the state of South Carolina. So you've got that. It's like Florida State, where you know that they're going to show
They're
up.
gonna
Those
show up.
players mark that on their
Absolutely.
calendar at the beginning of the year. And South Carolina, they've got an 8-3 record. They're not a bad team in the SEC with an 8-3 record. Not that the SEC's on top of the world like it used to be, but that's a good record. And you know what? This could be one of those games. Clemson may be undervaluing what their opponent is and what their opponent brings to the table. So I'd like to see South Carolina show up and at least punch them in the face a little bit. And Clemson may still win, but I could see this being a little bit of a fight.
I hear you.
You will be let down, my friend.
Absolutely.
Like many Gator fans before you.
Who else we got?
So
I think one of the biggest duds
Yeah.
okay, let's hear it.
Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah, it is going to be.
I'm hoping amongst
Oh,
hope
God.
that Michigan comes in and gets the upset,
No.
but
I
mean the way it
understand.
shapes out. But then again, we thought, hey, Iowa's gonna get rolled over by Ohio State, and we saw what happened.
This ain't Iowa, though.
Ohio State, since that game, has been on point.
And who have they played?
It doesn't matter.
No, it matters.
It doesn't matter.
It matters.
So
It
Ohio
always
State
matters.
is coming in hot, in my opinion. You can argue with me on that.
No, they're coming
And
in
Michigan, they've been the same team all year, where they have
hot.
been
Last 2 years.
they've been a great defense with a subpar offense, and they're barely hanging in most games. Good enough to win against good teams, not good enough to win against great teams. And I think Ohio State is a great team. They may not be a playoff-worthy team. Ohio State's fans would argue with me. Buckeye fans are crazy.
You don't think they're a playoff team?
Again,
That's a
I'm,
yes or
I'm
a no, man.
curious to see. I could see them squeaking in if all the cards fell to them correctly. You would need a lot of things to happen, one of which would be South Carolina upsetting Clemson. That would be something where you're taking a top 4 team, knocking them out of contention, and then maybe leaving the door open for Ohio State to squeeze in. And Ohio State, they're playing Wisconsin theoretically in the championship game. So then you knock off a undefeated Wisconsin team, and you do so in big fashion. Then you have a win against Michigan and Wisconsin, 2 ranked teams to finish your year. Then you could squeeze in, but you have to come out and play these games.
So they need Auburn to lose.
Yes.
They need Auburn to get out of the way. And they need, like you said, a lot of other things to kind of shake out. But it kind of reminds me of the 96 season when Florida State barely beat Florida because they did a lot of late hits on the quarterback. And everybody thought Florida was out of it. But then a whole bunch of teams lost during the conference title games. And then Florida came back into the national championship and beat the bricks out of Florida State.
Yep.
Yeah, they did.
So
I remember that.
Are we glad we brought that up? Anthony, how do you feel about that?
It's one of those bad years.
It's
man.
hate week, man.
It is hate week.
As much as down as our teams are, it'll be glorious to see the Florida Gators win. Even
So
though I don't
I'm gonna
think it'll
do
happen.
It would be glorious, but
not
yeah,
gonna
it's not going to happen.
I'm going to do a couple rapid fire, just quick, get your impression, and then we'll move on. Because some of these other games, maybe not as big of a deal. You got Washington State, Washington.
Obviously,
Obviously.
that's Pac-12 after dark, right?
Yep, that's right.
It's a-
So
I'll go
Washington
Washington.
State.
All right.
I'll go Washington for the win, but Mike Leach for the press conference win.
Okay. Good call.
Gotcha.
Good call. Georgia Tech. You got in-state rivals there.
Georgia.
I'm gonna go Georgia Tech.
What?
Yeah,
He
man.
just hates
Oh,
Georgia.
man.
Georgia.
Is George O'Leary coaching that Georgia Tech team?
Hey, man, that triple option. We already saw
Whatever.
that Georgia couldn't handle the spread option, so let's
Whatever.
see if they can handle the triple option.
Now, I normally wouldn't bring this game up, but you've got a good friend that's a fighting
Northwestern
Illini.
versus Illinois.
Who? I'm just
Northwestern.
messing with you.
He called them the nerds from the north.
The nerds from the north. So Northwestern has to stomp Illinois because they are awful.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
agree
it's
with
pretty
that?
bad, yeah.
And poor Lovie Smith, man. He's
I like
got to
Lovie.
bring it next year. I think he's going to be gone.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Texas A&M, LSU.
LSU.
Yeah,
Someone
poor
getting
someone's
fired.
gone.
All right, and then last game I'll mention West Virginia, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
I mean, is that a rivalry?
No, it's
really a
not, but it's a
rivalry.
game going on.
So we mentioned these rivalries, right? And they
Yeah.
all seem really down except for Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah,
And you'll have a lot of people tell you, oh, Ohio State, Michigan is the greatest rivalry in all of sports, or New York versus Boston Red Sox. And I think it's a total load of shit. To me, I think the biggest rivalry in sports is your biggest rivalry.
yeah.
To me, Florida State, Florida is the biggest rivalry in all of
It's a
sports.
brawl.
And it's not even close.
It's a fight.
I get it, Ohio State, Michigan. I get it, Auburn,
it's
Auburn,
a big game.
Alabama. I get it, New York and Boston. But I honestly, when I see you guys playing each other, and you're basically like Ohio State, Michigan this year,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I have a better rivalry than you're mentioning, and you haven't even gotten close to it.
who is it?
Donald Trump versus LeVar Ball. So I just wanted to bring this up
I
for you
guess.
guys.
This is a new rivalry. That's
This
why
is a new
Yes,
rivalry.
yeah.
Think of it.
So I feel like in the news lately, we've been talking a lot about assholes in sports. And I just wanted to throw it out to you two and kind of get your perspective on a couple different guys. And I want you to tell me who you think is the biggest asshole. So the first rivalry I mentioned, Donald Trump, who's tweeting about how he should have left LeAngelo in jail, and LeVar going on CNN saying, Donald Trump who, and all this other jazz. Who is the biggest asshole, Donald Trump or LeVar Ball?
This is kind of like a relative question because it's really just all relative to their position in life.
Absolutely.
And so when you're the president, you look like a bigger asshole when you basically lower yourself to LeVar Ball's level.
And that's exactly what he did. He lowered himself. I mean, it's certain things that it used to be a phrase where you don't give certain things attention. You just don't give them
Yeah.
attention. Hey, look, you're a stupid head. I'm not even going to answer that. I'm not.
Right.
I'm going to walk away. But when you have a president as Trump has, as we have, it's just like, hey, LeVar Ball didn't thank me. I'm going to go to Twitter and blast him. Like, it doesn't even deserve a response. Like, LeVar Ball could have had he could have gained so many points, but not even addressing it. Just walk away from it because it's just stupid. It's immature. It's what my 5-year-olds do. It's what my 5-year-olds do when we play football. You know, hey, he hit me. You know, I hit him back. You know, something stupid. It doesn't make sense.
All right, who else you got?
All right, so this past week, DeMarcus Cousins gets kicked out of a game for throwing a little elbow at Russell Westbrook. So we all know DeMarcus Cousins has been a little bit of an asshole his whole career. So if you look at DeMarcus Cousins and you say, okay, is he a bigger asshole than Jameis Winston? Who do you think's the biggest asshole?
Oh, Jameis, famous Jameis.
Famous Jameis, huh?
I can't even say Jameis is smart enough to be an asshole. I'm sorry. We go back to this, and I know you're going to say, no, you're just taking up for him. I'm not taking up for him. He's stupid. I mean, he's just an idiot, bro. I mean, you can't even give this guy the time of day. So I'm going to say Marcus Cousins asshole. Jameis Winston doesn't even deserve to be on the list.
I mean, he's just a guy, like, to your point, he is stupid.
He's stupid.
Because even when he was at Florida State, I'm like,
Stupid.
he's a guy that just doesn't get it. Like, people are probably in his ear like, what the hell are you doing?
I
And
agree
he just
with you.
doesn't get it. But just because you don't, ignorance is not an excuse.
I
Okay,
hear
being
you.
stupid is not an excuse. Constantly, whether it's true or not, we know this guy has a bad history with women.
It's
And
bad.
it's just, when there's smoke, there's fire. And then you add in his comments to the little kids, like, oh, little girls should sit down. If that was his only incident, you can say, okay, maybe it's taken out of context. But when you put it in
String it all
retrospect with
together.
all together, it's like,
Yeah.
no, this guy just thinks of women as inferior people.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
When you do that, to me, you're an asshole.
He's an asshole and he's stupid. I'll give you that.
All right, what else you
I
got?
can't argue with it.
All right, next one. These guys are both collegiate athletes right now at the top of their game. You got Baker Mayfield grabbing his crotch and saying F you to the Kansas. And you got Grayson Allen, who is just all around a general douchebag. Who is the biggest asshole?
To me, anybody who throws a temper tantrum and you're over the age of, I don't know, 9, you're an asshole.
That 11-year-old on the football field, you're an asshole. Kid.
Yeah, seriously. No, like, my kid starts acting up like that. Like, he wants to throw, like, really? No, you're 9. Time to grow up.
So you're going with
Grayson Allen, he's the
Grayson
biggest
Allen.
asshole. He's over there throwing temper tantrums on the bench and kicking and screaming like a little child. Like, come on, grow up.
I think he's an asshole. I think he's adolescent. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Baker Mayfield did anything wrong, man. It's football, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, it's football, man.
Right.
I played cornerback, and you don't even want to know the trash talking that I used to say to receivers. It was bad.
Yeah,
It was bad, man.
Everybody knows that happens, but there's a protective window.
Nobody wants to see it.
Nobody wants to see it.
Dude,
So when you break that window, I
just-
get it. I get it. I'm with you on that side, but you also have to
Man.
know, hey,
it's a gladiator
the
sport.
world doesn't like it.
It's a gladiator sport. Don't be surprised when gladiators act like gladiators.
Hey.
I'm just saying, dude. I don't think he did anything wrong. In fact, Kansas started it with the
The
not
no
shaking his
handshake.
hand,
And there's little
and they
kids right
told the
there.
little kid not to do it.
Yeah.
that's asshole.
Yeah, that's asshole-ish.
And then the late hit. I mean, I really can't say it was a late hit, but he knew the ball was out of his hands, and then he went in with his shoulder. He knew. I mean, it was a late hit. It was clear foul. He I don't think he did anything wrong. I would have did worse, to be honest with you. Actually, he did worse. He beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
So, you got anybody else?
I got 2 more for you.
Okay.
2 more comparisons. First one, and I just have to throw this one out there because I think these are the 2 worst announcers in football history. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Who's the biggest asshole?
Yes.
All right, good answer.
No, I honestly think it's going to be
That doesn't
Troy
matter.
Aikman, to be honest with you.
I can't say
I think
Aikman's
he's just
an
an
asshole.
arrogant dick.
You think Aikman's arrogant? He's Aikman.
He's kind of like rough around the edges. He shows up to work drunk sometimes. Like,
Doesn't everybody?
Yeah.
he's just bad at hiding it, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, at least if you're going to show up to work drunk, be lovable like Harry Carey.
Where's the coin? We can flip. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Okay, last one, just to finish it off strong, because I think these are 2 of the biggest assholes in sports history, and I want to get your comparisons. Bobby Knight versus Ezekiel Elliott.
Damn, that's a good one.
Who's the biggest asshole?
That's a good one.
Bobby Knight.
Bobby Knight, hands down.
Because with Ezekiel Elliott, it's still speculation and everything. We don't
Yeah.
know. Like, you can assume one way or the other. With Bobby Knight, we know he's an asshole. There's video evidence of him hitting players and throwing chairs and talking ill of the dead. That guy's just an asshole.
Yeah, Bobby Knight's he's like king asshole, right?
Now, I have one for you, Kyle. You haven't really answered any of these.
All right, let me hear it.
Who's a bigger asshole? Drew Brees for coming back against the Redskins or me for asking that question?
Ooh.
Obviously, it's you. Ever since Drew Brees was a symbol of his community during Hurricane Katrina, I really can't hold it against him. I blame the Redskins more for letting that lead go than anything else. I think it was in our grasp, and we just totally shit the bed. So I can't blame Drew Brees. I blame my team more than anything else. So the biggest asshole I could think of right now in this moment would be you, Chris America.
All right.
He's always an asshole.
That's true.
So what was it? 15 points in 3 minutes?
Yeah, you know,
He's just digging in now, man.
we had the game in hand. They said there was a 99.8% probability of winning that game. It was the same exact percentage that they had given the Atlanta Falcons to win the Super Bowl. And so when you look at the game, we got the ball. It's a 3rd and 1, and we're basically ready to just seal the game up with a couple minutes left. All we needed to do is get a first down to be able to run out the clock. New Orleans had already wasted all their timeouts. And so you know what you do is you don't get the first down, and then you give the ball to Drew Brees,
Drew Brees.
and you know the guy is going to come back.
Drew
And then you get into overtime.
Yeah.
And when you go into overtime, you're like, okay, we forced this into overtime by letting a 2-point conversion up, letting Drew Brees come back on us. And when we go into overtime, we end up getting like a sack, a penalty, and it's like 3rd and 35. And you know that's not going to do anything. You're on like the 10-yard line. Come on, dude. Anyway, I'm about ready to lose it, so...
Now, a fun fact. I'm sorry this happened against your team.
Yeah, let's
but
hear it.
A fun fact is Drew Brees just joined Elite Company with that stat of 15-point comeback in less than 3 minutes. The last quarterback to do that, who do you think that would be?
15
Don't
points
say
in 3
Troy
minutes?
Aikman.
No, not Troy.
No.
Okay,
Troy
good, because
Aikman.
he's an asshole.
Brett Favre?
No, not Brett Favre.
I'm going to say Tom Brady.
Nope.
Nah.
Is it a Redskins quarterback?
No.
No, that would have been nice.
All
I
right,
would have
so-
liked that stat.
Russell
It happened
Westbrook?
Nope. It happened in 2011.
Wait. Who'd you just say?
He said Russell
I'm
Westbrook.
sorry. My fault.
I know you meant Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
But just the fact that you said it,
Too
I
light-skinned-
make that mistake sometimes too.
light-skinned
Don't
brothers.
feel
It was-
bad.
I think it was-
I'm bad with names.
I think it was 2011 against the Miami Dolphins.
Cam Newton.
A Timothy Richard Tebow
Oh.
was the last quarterback to come back
Hey, that's good.
and beat a team with 15-point deficit.
You know, we
Hey, that's
haven't
good
talked about
company
him
for
in a
Drew
while.
Brees.
we
to
haven't,
be
and
it.
I thought this was the perfect time
Yeah,
to bring him
I'll
up
give
again.
you that when we haven't talked about it, so I'll
That's
give you
elite
that
company
one.
for Drew Brees to join.
I'm not so sure of that, but okay.
They're both future Hall of Famers.
Future Hall of Famers. Number
I mean,
15 in your
Tebow
program,
might be for his college
Sir.
life.
number
Sir.
15 in your program, number 1 in our hearts.
Sir, you had too many beers. You're done. You're
Well,
cut
we'd
off.
like to
haven't-
have another beer.
I haven't
Server hasn't
had
come around a long
enough, to
time.
be honest with you.
Hey, it's all right.
She's like, oh, you guys are recording on a podcast.
She's busy.
We're good.
It's fine.
Yeah, Hunter Henley.
What?
Or what's his name? Hunter Henley, right?
Hunley?
Hunley? Yeah, Hunter
Green
Hunley.
Bay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brett Hundley.
Oh, Brett Hundley.
Yeah, Hundley.
Hunter something. Hundley is like the tight end for the Chargers.
Oh, okay.
What
Or Hunter
black-
or something.
What black guy you know named Hunter?
I'm sure there's somewhere around
There's
there.
a black guy named Hunter.
Someone who's adopted by
hey,
white parents.
Okay.
There's black guys
okay,
that dye
okay.
their mohawks blonde.
That guy's weird, but being
Exactly.
born Hunter. Okay, any
And
black
Anthony
guys.
doesn't trust him because he's got
I
blonde
mean,
hair.
he
Trust
can't make that choice. His parents make that choice for him.
If you're listening and you know a black guy named Hunter, get at us.
Tweet at us.
Yeah, get at us. Make sure we have his birth certificate up on. For,
We need
Yeah,
two
put his
forms,
social
government
security number
ID.
too on Twitter
Yeah,
so
we
that
gotta
everybody
see
can
it.
steal his identity.
I gotta see it. Green Bay sucks.
How many points they scored this week?
0, right?
It was 0. 23 nothing, I think
yeah,
was
it
the
was bad.
final
Against the
score.
Ravens?
Man,
Against the Ravens, we suck. There's no way we're making it to the playoffs at this point. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers needs to take a break. Just sits back and make discount double check
Him and
commercials.
Jameis can hang out together.
so the best
can't
team out of
talk
our
about
teams
James.
this past week was yours, Chris.
yeah, we played Brigham Young Education. I don't know. It was on their schedule. BYE. I don't know.
Ah,
who that
BYE.
is. I figured that was
BYE.
Brigham Young Education.
And you
I don't know if
had
that's
a
like
better record
Yeah.
this week than our teams.
Yeah,
Ah.
obviously.
So the playoff picture seems to be kind of coming into form for the NFL. So
Yeah,
who
yeah.
are the teams that right now are on that fringe or outside of the playoffs that you guys think are in a must-win situation to be able to keep their chances alive?
Well, the AFC picture is really ugly because I think the Ravens are 5-5 right now, and they're right there.
Tops.
They're in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, they would be in the playoffs if it started today, which is unbelievable that we're
Yeah.
speaking the Ravens.
So I mean, the rest of the teams are 5-5. You got 4 and 6 teams. I just saw a stat by ESPN today on Twitter. They listed off all the different scenarios that need to happen. It's obviously impossible, but mathematically speaking, the Cleveland Cavaliers at 0-10 are still in the playoff hunt.
Looking at these other teams,
You said
it's a
Did
possibility.
you say the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Or sorry, yeah, the Cleveland Browns.
The Cleveland
We're all
Browns.
messed up, and we've only had one beer.
One beer.
The AFC
It's strong.
The AFC is weak. Like at the top, it's heavy. So you got New England, who everybody's respecting
and
because
the Steelers.
and you got the Steelers. Both of those teams are perennial.
Jaguars.
Yeah. Well,
Come
the
on.
Jaguars.
I'll give it to them.
They've had a great year. I love the Jaguars, but again, they're kind of like the Magic, where I always in the back of my mind say, "Are you really legit? Like, I want you to be legit. I want to believe in you, but you've let me down so many years in a row.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can still believe in you." But you got Pittsburgh and New England definitely at the top, but then you got Jacksonville, who, yeah, you never know what can happen with them, and then you go Kansas City, who have looked really bad the last few games. They lost to the New York Giants. The Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The New York bye weeks get a win over the Kansas City Chiefs. So the
pretty
Chiefs
bad.
start out 5-0, and now they've gone 1-4 since then.
Yeah.
So they got a 6-4 record. So after the Chiefs, you've got just everybody is basically the same team. You've got Tennessee, Baltimore, Buffalo, Miami, New York Jets, Cincinnati, Houston, LA, Oakland. These are all bad teams.
Yeah.
So you're going with the Chiefs need to win.
Well, that's who my go with is the Chiefs.
Okay.
Obviously, I think they'll make the playoffs no matter what because your Oakland, Denver, and LA Chargers are non-existent right now.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to limp their way in, but they need to get off of this losing hump because the worst thing for you to do going into the playoffs is come limping in.
I hear you.
Come in as like a divisional winner, and that's the only reason why you're there.
So
It's really embarrassing when you have a losing record or an 8-8 record and you're the home team because you're the divisional winner and the NFL playoff rules are stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got this 11-5 team rolling in as a wild card and they just kick your ass in front of your home crowd.
So I'm going to
So-
give a little love to my Chargers, who are playing in those huge stadiums with all these players, right?
Right, and all those fans.
And they're in that division, like you're talking about. We got Kansas City, Oakland, LA Chargers, and Denver. And I think at the beginning of the year, we all thought the Chargers were at the bottom. And now you got Kansas City limping in. You've got some of these other teams that Oakland looks terrible.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Denver, who looks even worse. And the Chargers, who start out 0-4, are now 4-6. So they're going 4-2 in the last 6 games. And Phillip Rivers looks like he's hitting his stride. The offense is really coming together. I think as a must-win / hey, this team might be legit and squeak into the playoffs, I'm going Chargers.
What?
All right, that's a bold prediction.
That is
I didn't know we were doing bold prediction
That's
time.
bold as shit.
So
Hey.
the Chargers are in a must-win?
They're in a must-win because I think they need to keep their momentum going so that they can squeak in and knock out somebody like Baltimore or Tennessee out of that picture. Because, I mean, if Jacksonville stays at the head of that division, Tennessee could easily pop out of the playoff picture, and you know who could jump in is the Chargers. So it's good to see that they're not out of it yet, and I think they're coming in and starting to play their best ball now. So
All right.
that's what I'm throwing out there.
I
So
got you.
that's AFC. Anthony, do you have a prediction of who a must-win is? Chris gave his, I gave mine, and now we need something from you, sir.
I think my must-win team is going to be the Jaguars. And even though they're the top of the division at 7-3, we all know it's the Jaguars. I think, with 6 games left on the season, they got to win at least 3. I'm going to say if they can go 10-6, they're a lock.
Yeah.
But if they lose any of those 6, if they lose 4, I think it's a chance that they could be kicked out.
without a doubt.
Yeah, the Titans are right on their heels. So the Jaguars gotta win. They gotta win. They gotta win, and then they got the Titans at the end of the season. So they gotta win 2 plus the Titans to make sure that they are on top of the playoff.
I like it. No, I think I'm with it. So that's our AFC take on it. NFC, Chris, I see you've got a couple teams circled on your list over there. Who you feeling?
Well, I said this last week, that Seattle and Atlanta were both in must-win scenarios, and Atlanta came out the winner of that. They almost gave it away again. So I think Seattle's still kind of on that list because, again, when you're looking at the wild card scenario, Philadelphia's taken off with it, but the rest of that division sucks. Minnesota's kind of taken off with it, and I think Detroit is one of those teams that Seattle's kind of worry about
They're
because
right on the bubble.
Detroit gets to beat up on the Bears and the Packers. No offense.
No, it's true. We suck.
So that wild card picture is looking kind of tough. Rams, they kind of lost to Minnesota, but I feel like the Rams have kind of been, when they play a team with a good defense, they don't put up any points. But when it comes to lesser teams or teams with a mediocre defense, they score 40. So
So Rams record 7-3, right?
right,
Yep.
Seattle's
So-
6-4.
Out of those 7 wins, only one of those have come against a team with a winning record.
Right. So they'll continue to play teams like the Arizona
49ers.
Cardinals and the 49ers.
Yeah.
I think they got them both again. And I'm not sure what the rest of their schedule is, but they only have to play Seattle once.
They got the Saints.
Okay, so
Ouch.
that'll be a tough one.
Yep. It'll be a fun
Cardinals.
game, though.
They got the Eagles.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, maybe they are in must win. I didn't realize that
They
their
are.
schedule just
They,
got harder.
They got the Ram. They got the Saints, Eagles, and Seahawks.
So they got 3 tough matchups coming
They
up.
got a tough rest of the schedule.
They might be in must win. You're
I
right.
think LA and Seattle, I think those two teams, they're not, whatever teams out of the West, they're only sending one team. I think the AFC South, the NFC South will send 2 teams, maybe even 3, depending on if Atlanta can get themselves off the schneid. And then the NFC North, if the NFC South doesn't send 3 teams, then the NFC North will send 2 teams
Absolutely. Vikings
between
and Lions.
the Vikings and Lions.
Yeah.
So these 2 NFC West teams, they're kind of in must-win mode every week, not only just to win the division, but also to kind of keep up with those other wild card teams that are out there.
That's a good one.
All right. Do you have a must win team?
I got to go with the same kind of philosophy I had on the AFC, and that's the Rams. They got to stay ahead of the hunt. Like you say, they play a team with good defense. They don't pit anything up. They got a tough schedule coming up, so they got to win some of those games. They have to. They have to beat the Seahawks, and they have to beat the Eagles.
So they
and
have-
the Eagles they're not patty cake.
So you
They're
didn't mention
playing.
the rest of their schedule, but they have 6 games left, and 3 of those teams are Seattle, the Saints, and the Eagles.
Yep.
Those are 3 very good teams, very top teams.
And they got the Titans too. They got Titans. Titans are tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they'll be able to throw up a lot of points on the Titans,
We'll see. But
especially the way the Steelers did last week.
either way, they have to win. They have to. They're gonna have to come out this gauntlet.
Yeah, going 3
at
and
least
3
two.
in that gauntlet will be tough.
Yeah,
For them to make the playoffs.
All right. So I'm going to go with a team that isn't really
You're
a
going
surprise.
49ers, right?
No, not 49ers. This is not a surprise for
The
you.
Giants are in a must-lose to get that number 1 overall pick.
They are. The Giants are in a must lose. So
This
Going
is why
with
I
the
didn't
same
pick 'em. I
theme.
wanted to pick them, but I knew Kyle wanted
going
to
with
go.
the same theme, got to go with my team, Washington Redskins. Now,
Yay.
it has been a little bit of a bummer this year. You've had a couple tough losses, especially towards the end of the game. We were in the Chiefs game. Alex Smith makes a comeback. We were in the Saints game. Drew Brees makes a comeback. We've had a tough schedule, but it's getting a little bit easier. We've got the Giants coming up. We're going to play the Giants actually 2 more times by the end of the year, and we got the Cowboys coming up. So the Redskins definitely are in a must-win situation, and I think just like on the AFC side with the Chargers, on the NFC side, you might see one of these 4 and 6 teams squeak in if they get hot towards the end of the year. And so the Redskins, if they continue to win, they could be that team that squeaks in, because some of these other teams, like Detroit's playing Minnesota this week, if they have another loss, that knocks them a little bit further down that. Seattle, they've got a couple tough games coming up. and there could be just a little bit of room right in that last wild card spot. Even LA, you got you might have a team that squeaks up there. LA drops down. Seattle ends up coming up and taking that division spot. So that wild card race could get a little interesting. So you might see a 9-7 or a 10-6 team, and it could be one of these 4-6 teams. And I guess maybe as a homer inside of me, I hope that the Redskins get a little hot. Kirk Cousins was on the record this week as saying that he's playing right now the best football of his career.
Is he going to get 5,000 this year?
He could. He's on his way. I think he's third in the league in yardage right now. And he's throwing a ton. Now, losing a couple players hurts, injuries. It happens to every team, but we'll see what happens. Let's see.
I will say this. Out of the teams that are at 500 or below in the NFC, you guys are definitely the best team right now.
Absolutely. You guys should
you got
there.
Green Bay and Dallas ahead of you with 500 teams, and then you have 3, 4, and 6 teams, Tampa, Arizona, and Washington. You guys are definitely better than those 2 teams. So what you just said is obviously it's not crazy.
Right.
You're 2 losses out from Seattle. Seattle's 6-4. You guys are 4-6. It's very easy to say that they lose 3 games while you don't lose any the rest of the way. Now, it's going to be tough to go 6-0. You guys are definitely. I mean, you can't drop many.
And we beat Seattle in the head-to-head. So.
Right. So, but I think if you guys drop one more, that's it. It's game over.
Oh, and so we're at 4-6. So if we win out, we go 10-6.
10-6, right?
Yep.
So even if we lose one at 9-7,
You still got a shot.
you got an outside shot.
You have an outside shot,
but we can't put that in the back pocket. We need to win it out.
But that means you need Seattle to go 3-3. You need Carolina to go 2-4. You need the Rams to go 2-4, and then you need New Orleans to just completely fall apart. But I mean, those are the teams that are above you. Then you also got to worry about Detroit and Atlanta.
Right. No, I'm with you. It's an outside shot.
There's not much wiggle room anymore, and that's why I told you last week. Like, you guys have to beat the Saints, or
I know that hurt.
It looks a lot better when you're 5-4.
Yeah.
I was already
as
celebrating that
opposed to
victory.
4-6.
I was already
Or
celebrating.
5-5, sorry.
Yeah. No,
Well-
I'm with you.
Well, the rest of your schedule, you got the Giants twice. You
Said
have
that.
So that works.
Yep.
You got the
Dallas.
Cowboys. You got the Chargers, the Cardinals, and the Broncos.
So that you can very
Dude, you
easily
can
go
very
6-0.
easily do it.
That is a very
Absolutely.
winnable schedule.
There should be one more game on there. What are we missing? There was probably a hard team that you didn't want to.
No,
You said
got-
Giants
You got
twice.
Giants twice.
So Giants twice,
Twice.
Cowboys,
Cowboys,
Cardinals,
Chargers.
Chargers, and Broncos. Okay,
Yeah.
you're right. That's 6.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's a winnable schedule down
absolutely.
the
Cowboys
the
are
stretch.
Cowboys are reeling. Denver is Denver.
Oh,
I mean, and
Denver looks bad.
And Giants,
They fired their offensive coordinator bad.
yeah, but as long as the Giants don't turn into post Super Eli coming out of
come
there,
on.
you'd be good.
Come on,
They
really?
did beat the Chiefs.
All right, you guys got any MVPs?
I'm going to start with my MVP. On my Loudbeard Sports Show, I did mention this guy as my Beard of the Week, but I want to go ahead and mention him as my MVP. It is Thanksgiving week, so I want to be thankful towards a NASCAR guy. This is kind of weird. We don't really talk a lot about NASCAR, but I wanted to thank Dale Earnhardt Jr. for having such an amazing career. The guy was very inspirational, and he just raced his last race, and he's going into retirement at Homestead. He finished 25th, which isn't like a great win or a great placing or anything, but the dude jumps out, he chugs a beer, he hangs out with all the fans, and everything I know about the dude, he's always been like a really great guy. I have a cousin that has a son that's 9 years old, and they go out, and he's like the biggest Dale Earnhardt Jr. fan, and Dale Jr.'s always been like a good guy. They go down to pit row, and he signs stuff for him, and has always been a nice guy. So he's like the Tim Tebow of NASCAR, so I really want to appreciate that. And thank you, Dale Jr., for such an amazing career. And he's also a huge Redskins fan. That's a big feather in his cap also. So MVP, Dale Jr., I'm thankful for you, sir.
The crazy thing about his career is when you're the son of a legend in a sport,
it's hard.
it's one thing. It's hard to live in that shadow and live up to those expectations. Then when your dad dies doing that sport,
Yeah.
the legend and the shadow just gets even bigger. Now, it helped him out a lot. Don't get me wrong. He was voted the most popular NASCAR driver, and there's no doubt in my mind that that would not have happened, at least not as much as it did. There's nothing to say that he's not a likable guy, but
Yeah.
because he's Dale Earnhardt's son, and because Dale Earnhardt passed away tragically, I think that definitely gave him a lot of fans. Obviously,
Absolutely.
every single Dale Earnhardt fan probably went and liked
Absolutely.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. But at the same time, in the sports world, you need to win championships. That's the pressure. It's like, why aren't you winning more? Why aren't you winning more? And he never did.
No.
And so you got to think mentally for him to overcome that, to know that, hey, man, I gave this everything I had and I couldn't win one. I don't know, man. But he seems like a type of guy that handled it with grace and humility. And
I think his popularity was because he was a good dude.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I know, it definitely helped. Obviously,
Yeah.
if he was like a spoiled,
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
like, asshole,
kick him out.
like, people would just be turned off and be like, oh, you're nothing like your father, even though his dad was an asshole.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of why he was popular, is because he was an asshole.
Right.
But anyway, so that's a good MVP.
All right.
I like it.
Awesome.
My MVP is the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Ah.
They-
Rough Riders.
They played in the Eastern Conference Finals this past weekend. We were at a bar watching all the NFL Sunday games, and there was one TV that had the Rough Riders on. They were down big, like 18-3 most of the game, and then they stormed back and they did a punt. They were down by 7. I'm sorry, they're down 18-13, and they returned the punt for the touchdown. I'm the only person in the bar standing up cheering on this TV, and everybody's looking at me like I'm on
Like, what's
crack.
wrong
Like,
with this
why is
guy?
this guy rooting on Canadian football? But unfortunately, the Toronto Argonauts marched down the field and scored a last-second touchdown, and they lost. But
Ouch.
hey, man, kudos to that team. When I started liking them, I made that announcement. They were like 2-4. So
Yeah.
just like they came back in that game, they came back in the season. They got all the way down to the final second of the Eastern Conference Finals,
Nice.
going to the Grey Cup. So Saskatchewan Roughriders, Rider Nation, can't wait for next season, man. You're my MVP.
Rough
Hey,
Riders.
that's a good MVP.
That's a great MVP.
Canadians love their Canadian Football League. This past week, we had a team play, or two teams play in Mexico City. We have teams in the NFL that go to London, but we never go to Canada. You know why? Because fans aren't going to go out and watch it, because they are
Yeah, they already got their
CFL
look. Yeah.
fans
Ride or
for
die.
life, man. They ride or
they're
die.
they're catered
They
up
love
with
their
their-
teams.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So good MVP there, Mr.
Awesome
America.
MVP. All right, so it is Thanksgiving, and everybody's giving thanks for everything. And my MVP is a direct Thanksgiving recipient, and that is the Food Network. I've been watching a lot of videos and how they're making macaroni and cheese and apple pies and everything. And I'm going to be honest with you, they're ruining Thanksgiving for people. If you watch the Food Network, do not use their recipes. Their recipes are garbage. They put, like, macaroni and cheese you bake. You have to bake your macaroni and cheese. They put stuffing and vegetables in your macaroni and cheese. Do not put stuffing and vegetables in your macaroni and cheese. That's disgusting. An apple pie, they baked it with bacon. An apple pie with bacon.
That actually sounds good.
Yeah, I'm all in.
They
I
are-
mean, you had me with the mac and cheese. I'm
Are
like,
you
that's like
serious?
putting a straw in your beer. but-
Yeah.
apple pie with bacon, think about it. They're going to bake it raw onto the apple. So that means all that bacon grease is going straight to the apple.
And
all you're
the
doing
problem?
is just helping
Yeah.
me.
That
love
is
this dish.
absolutely
My
disgusting.
mouth is
Listen,
watering as
That
we
is
speak.
absolutely
I
disgusting.
am 1,000,000%
Bacon.
team bacon. Put bacon
On apple pie?
on anything. It
Okay.
makes it better.
Okay, you guys
It's
are
just it's like frying any, like whatever you fry, it's gonna taste better.
you're going to ruin your Thanksgiving if you put
Sprinkling
apple pie.
awesomeness on anything. Bacon.
No, that's not true.
I wouldn't
Don't
bring
do
it to Thanksgiving dinner, but man, that sounds like a good hangover breakfast. Is apple pie with bacon?
That's absolutely disgusting. Anybody that don't listen to this guy.
So your MVP is apple pie with bacon.
Yeah, I
That
like
was a
it.
great
That's a
choice.
great choice.
MVP.
That was your best
My
MVP yet.
MVP is Food Network. Don't listen to them. Don't watch their recipes. Drunken Chef. # Drunken Chef.
All right, I
man,
like
that's a
it.
good show, guys. I think we went a little long, but that's okay. It's Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for our show, and I'm thankful for all of our listeners who make this
All
happen.
of our listeners. Thank you guys.
Yep, seriously.
All right, thank you guys. We appreciate everybody out there listening. We appreciate what you've done with us, or for us as a show and as a radio network. We're gonna keep it coming. We're gonna keep it coming for a very long time. Tell your friends, share us, tweet at us, do whatever it takes. We're here
Listen
for
us-
you,
listen
and
us-
we are thankful.
Listen to us while you cook Thanksgiving dinner.
Seriously.
Have all your friends out. Say, hey,
we
look,
didn't even
got
really
these
curse
guys.
that much on this episode, so we're good
So
to
we're
listen
safe.
to.
We're Thanksgiving safe.
We're
Absolutely.
safe for the little ears in your family.
Absolutely.
Play us for your toddlers.
That's right.
Love
All
you.
right,
It,
guys.
it helps brain development.
Tune in next week where we'll discuss what other foods we can make better with bacon.
Disgusting.
All right, peace out.
See ya.
Peace.